Hey, there we go.
Oh shoot! Okay, I was cooking some hot dogs, man. The alarm went off. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah.
All good,
Anyway,
man.
what's going on, Charlie Brown?
Not much, man. How are you? How's this crazy world that everybody's been living in treating you?
Dude, I'm a pro at this, man, for reals. Woohoo! Yeah, the fire alarm just went off because I burning the hot dogs.
Don't you hate
Yeah,
that when
yeah. You just kind of got to blow on it, like blow up in the ceiling. Crazy world, yes, crazy world. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. I just write songs, man.
is that has the quarantine and not being able to be on the road been good in that front? I know a lot of guys that I talked to said even if it's just for lack of having nothing else to do, they've probably been writing more than they ever have in the past.
Hell yeah, man. You got a little bit more time for sure. And I'll tell you what, man, God bless all the songwriters and all the entertainers and all the artistic people in the world. And, I mean, seriously, dude, I've just been writing like basically the next record for this whole time. I'm doing pretty good at it so far.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking the other day. I cannot believe it has been 20 years since Come Clean has come out. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but then you look at the date next to it and you're like, hell, it's been that long.
It's crazy, man. Shoot, man, I pat myself on the back all the time, for powering through many amounts of turmoilishness.
What's the trick to keep going with that much longevity? Because you guys were together, well, a long time before Come Clean was ever, on anybody's radar. What's the secret to staying together that long? I mean, that's not an easy task. There aren't many bands that can say they've done that.
Yeah, man. But fortunately for me, I, a lot of the players in the band and stuff have came and gone, and my mother, Pat Scantlin, she's just like, hey, write your own songs, keep writing your own material, and so I owe a lot of it to my mom and my pops too. They just like, let's just keep going. If it's something you love passionately, then keep writing and keep writing songs, and one way or another, it's going to get into somebody else. Somebody else might pick up one of the songs that I've written. And
I've always been like a lyric guy, and it's so funny because like I have a love-hate relationship with Come Clean. My girlfriend and I do this thing whenever we're driving around and a song comes on, like it'll pop up and I'm like, oh, I think of you every time I hear this song. And no matter what, when She Hates Me comes on, I'm like, I think of you every time I hear this song. It's just,
yeah, dude. Late night, late. I came home late, dude, real late. And my son's mom wasn't too happy. She made me. She did not allow me to like get into the bed with her. And she's like, no, you can't sleep in this bed tonight, Wesley. You sleep on the floor or something. So I went into the corner of the bedroom and with my little pen and paper, and I just wrote those she effing hates me, she effing hates me. I just wrote it over and over and over. And she was always talking about, a relationship isn't all about sex, Wes. It's not all about sex. There's trust, there's love. And she was shoot, man. She could have been a freaking I don't know. She could have been in a flipping freaking Nazi organ. Yeah, she's just like the soup Nazi, man. Like she was it's just weird. That's how that song is actually written. And then my guitar player Jimmy Allen, I guess you're always going through difficulties when you're a songwriter, and he was going through the same crud with his chick. So me and him together, we just meshed them together, and I don't know if he jacked the Summer Lovin' from Grease, the movie Grease, or he might have jacked the Suicidal Tendencies, but it's a good little riff, and it's rocking, dude. It really does like hit home with a lot of people, man.
Yeah, it's cool because for whatever reason, it's one of those songs that stands the test of time. Like you hear it and you instantly, I mean, it's there. Blurry for me was one that I couldn't listen to for a while because my roommate and my best friend was going through a breakup, and he had the CD. And every time we would get in the car, he would play Blurry, and then he would start talking about his relationship. And then the song would end and he would play it again, and he would talk more about his relationship. And then it would end and I'd be like, oh, maybe we'll move on to something else. Nope, he hit the reverse button and it would go back to it again. So like, it took me a lot of time before I could listen to it and really appreciate it after that.
I get it, man. Believe me, I totally get it. Yeah, what the funniest thing about that is they're very simple. They're very simply structured and like chord structured. Blurry is it's like 3 notes. It's like, bow down, bow down, bow down. That's the whole song. You play it with one finger. And She Hates Me is 4 notes. Just 4 notes out there. But
there are bands like Green Day that have made very good livings on 3 chords.
So, I'm telling you, man, it's the way to go. You add a little special sauce in there, a little sprinkly fairy dust, and just kind of make it all tweakly weekly. It's like, because the hardest part of Blurry is this. I still can't do it completely correctly, but Doug Ardito. I've never met a single solitary person in this world that can actually perform Blurry with the harmonic part up, from top to bottom. I mean, it's just like, you just get frustrated and flustered. Yeah. So Doug Ardito, man, that dude is an insane, amazing guitar player, actually.
That's always cool to hear like what goes into writing a song. And I know you guys have been on a ton of tour. Do you have a favorite tour that you've done over the years? Anything that like just pops up as, damn, that was a great tour? Because I know music has certainly changed a lot, but
yeah, I loved going on tour with Korn, and I loved going on tour with Linkin Park, and I really enjoyed going on tour with Godsmack and the Deftones. I really loved the actual last Mudfest thing. Mudfest tour was really cool. Everybody got along really well, and it was just really, it was kind of a little bit funny. Saliva, Josie, he's doing some other things in his life, but the new singer in Saliva is super duper cool guy, man. So that was fun. And I've always had fun doing tours with basically everybody. I was on tour with both Salivas, the old Saliva and the new Saliva, and yeah, they're kicking some butt, man. I mean, they're a great act to listen to live. I mean, they're really freaking crazy.
I've seen the Josie version of Saliva and hung out with those guys live, and they put on a hell of a show. I have not seen the new Saliva anywhere, but I would love to. I mean, I've heard his voice, like he's got an incredible voice.
Yes, sir.
I've just not seen those guys. I've never been at a show where I've had a chance to catch the newer version live, and I had heard that they were talking about maybe doing all something together, and then COVID hit, so God only knows what happens at that point in time.
Yeah, they're doing well. I mean, people are really, people are very, very responding to their, to their rock and roll, and yeah, the singer's killer. And I think Brad actually, I wrote Control with Brad Stewart. He's the bass player for Saliva, and you know, he always thanks me for like changing his life, you know, because of, you know, I gave him a big credit. You know, I gave him a lot of credit for the song. You know, sharing is good, man, and I'm happy to be a part of anybody's success and anybody that I can help. And it's a really good feeling when you help somebody out, and then, you know, all of a sudden they're just doing great in their life. It's a little bit of a, you know, kind of a nice cushion, you know.
Absolutely. Do you feel like because touring has been essentially shut down and no one does it, how do you feel like when people start going on the road again, like how are those shows going to be? Because I would imagine, I mean, the fans, from a fan's point of view, they're going to be excited to be in an audience with a live, you know, in a live venue someplace. But for you guys, having not been able to do it for a while, like that's got to be just an amazing feeling when it happens to be back out there again.
Yeah, it's going to be balls to the wall, man. People are going to be just, you know, cheering like you've never heard a crowd cheer ever. You know, it's just out of elation and just, you know, it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be really super duper cool to see smiles on all the fans' faces and cheers, and you know, I think there's gonna be nothing but just love, you know, surrounding live concerts and stuff, and you know, people are almost probably gonna be crying and you know, shite. And it's gonna be cool, you know. That's gonna be a good feeling. I know it's gonna be crazy, awesome, and fun, and happy, and smiling, and you know, that's really, you know, I mean, everybody in the whole building is going to be just smiling their brains out, you know?
Right. I think it's just weird. I mean, when the summer ended, I was like, damn, this is the first summer I've never had any kind of live music to go to or be a part of. And it's that whole, you don't know what you got until it's gone. And you take for granted. I know there are countless times where I've been like, I don't necessarily need to catch that show this time. I'll catch them on the next go round. And now you're like, damn, I'd give anything to have been able to catch that show just because. And you just don't realize how important, like, you know, the old cliche that music is the soundtrack to your life, but it really is. Like everybody can remember what show they heard a song for the first time and what they were doing at that show and how that song applied. I mean, it's just uncanny the way that is true, but it really is.
It's going to be amazing, man. It really is. And I cannot wait. And I hope, oh dear almighty God above, please let everybody get vaccinated and healed. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. And yeah, hopefully we'll all be able to go get our double shot and, you know, and get, and not worry, you know, and not be scared, you know.
Absolutely. I think, you know, just knowing that the vaccine's there hopefully erases some of the fear that people have, and at least kind of, you know, I don't think anybody's necessarily in a hurry to get in a room with 80,000 people just yet, but at least you kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel and you go, okay, we're closer to where we were than, you know, the other way, which is probably good for everybody.
Yeah. It's going to be definitely very healthy for people's morale, you know.
And there are some things where I think we learned a few lessons, but then there were other things when you're like, oh, wash your hands. I'm like, well, shouldn't you have been doing that anyway?
Like, yeah. Yeah. My grandmother's, you know, wash your hands, you know, wash your face, wash your hands, right. You know, remain clean, you know, it's really nothing new, really. But I guess if it could kill you, you know, you're really going to have to pay attention, you know?
Absolutely. So tell me about Go to Hell. You guys released the lyric video, which is pretty cool. And the song now all of a sudden has like a whole new meaning than what it might have had in the past, and a little bit different spin on it than what people might have necessarily thought originally.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it's kind of like a biblical type. It's kind of like a biblical deal, you know. Everybody's dying to get to heaven. Most of y'all, you got to go to hell. It's 116,000 people only get allowed to be in heaven according to the Bible, you know. And I don't know, maybe John Denver and George Burns were, looking down on me, like saying, oh, you're going to hell. Cause I wrote it in John Denver's, his studio in Malibu, California. And, yeah, so I don't know. He might have been like, you're going to hell, Wes. So, I think I'm going to go to heaven though, perhaps.
I mean, do you judge it? Because like I always kind of, and this is such the wrong way to look at it, but when I've done something that's been bad, I've kind of went, well, I didn't kill anybody, so it's not that.
Yes, nobody got hurt, nobody got killed. I didn't kill nobody.
Right.
Thou shalt not kill. I have not done that. So
right.
That's
that whole like degree of how bad what you did really was.
I mean, I've met people that have killed people. They perhaps may be going to hell. I don't know. Maybe it's an old thing. Maybe it's 116 trillion people or something. Maybe I don't know. We'll get in there as long as we didn't kill nobody.
It's funny when you're younger, because I grew up Catholic. So when I was younger, it was, you just go to confession, you tell everybody what you did, and it's good. And as you get older, you start to go, well, man, I did some pretty effed up stuff. Like, are we sure by just walking in that room, we're good?
I'm Catholic too, and I never, ever, ever did that ever in my whole life, to go into the confession. Yeah. I'm gonna go do that. See, I could clear it out, clear out my shite.
And I remember you always had the choice. You could like do the confession where you would stare at the priest face to face, or you could behind the closed door, like put me behind the closed door. We're not doing this face to face.
Right. And then the priest has got, he's got bragging rights to anything you just told. I'm sorry, God, that I was dating 5 women at the same time. All the time.
It's crazy. Dude, are you gonna play a song, or are you gonna just hang out?
Oh no, I'm just fiddling around.
That's cool.
Just got up.
I wasn't sure. So
oh no, I thought it looked cool.
No, it does.
Cool.
I wasn't sure, because I'm like, hey, like, do you mind? Are you going to talk with Wes? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then you sat down with the guitar. I'm like, Wes is going to play. I'm like, all right, that's cool. It didn't matter. I wasn't expecting it, so no big deal. So what do you guys have planned? Do you have anything when all this stuff ends? Are you guys celebrating the anniversary of Come Clean? You guys have anything in the works that maybe we can find out about and get ready for, or something to look forward to?
Yeah, that's definitely in the works. I think everybody's just waiting to get their little shots and stuff like that. And basically my whole family, my mom and my sister and my pops, they're the booking agency now. So it's all in the family now, and it's great to be working with my mom and my sis and my pops. Like it's really kind of just a blessing that they're on the team now. And believe me, the ladies in this world are dying to have things going on and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. And my sister and my mom are definitely taking care of it, man. Believe me.
That's good. I mean, if you can't trust your family, who can you trust?
Yeah. And if anybody's gonna jack you, it might as well be the blood of your life.
Is your sister older or younger than you are?
She's younger.
Okay. Were you guys close?
She's actually, she's an artist, man. She's very, very artistic and very clever, and she's really smart. And she's got her own, like, she's like a hip hop, she does like hip hop. She can do anything really. She does hip hop, and her little hip hop band is called Collab.
Right on.
And yeah, so anybody out there listening, check out Collab by Miss Lady Blake Scantlin. And I'm always trying to pump her up and get her music out there as well. So I don't know, I'm her big brother, so I was proud to mention her name and her artistness.
Did you were you guys a close knit family growing up, or did you kind of buck the curve of what they were doing?
super tight, man. We grew up on a lake called Lake Wacomas, and yeah, we were a happy family. We all got along, and or whatever ifs and ups and downs or whatever, but usually we got along. And yeah, so tight knit, yep, and it was lovely to grow up on a lake with all these great people. And yeah, I mean, a lot of doctors, a lot of scientists, a lot of different people, and it was cool, man. It was a really cool place. It was great. I mean, I'd just go out, jump in the lake and just tread water for as long as I could. Like every day, I'd just sit there and tread water, see how long I could tread water for. Yeah, or how long I could hold my breath.
Were your parents? Did they push you to get into music, or did they have other ideas for you? And then you kind of went, hey, I think I'm going to do this music thing. And they were like, whoa. Or was it more of a, no, go ahead, do it?
Well, I went to a Van Halen concert in 1984, and I think I was like 10 or 11 years old. And at that point in my life, a lot of people were like, what are you going to do with your life? What do you think you're going to do? And which happens, and everybody asks you when you're a kid. And when I went there, I was like, I want to do that. Like, that looks like an amazing time. And so at that point, I started a band and stuff, and just kept going. And the first band was High Impact, the second band was Good Question, and then the Puddle of Mud landed on my lap. And so it was cool. I just like wanted to write songs and have fun doing it.
You've probably been asked this 500 times, and so I apologize. Where'd the name come from?
The Missouri River. We had a practice hall underneath the Broadway Bridge in downtown Kansas City, and I got a phone call, and I was like hung over like a mofo, and it was a Guitar Center thing kind of, and then there was these, like, you just rip this little thing off, you call the number, people were looking for art, looking for band members and stuff like that at the guitar shop. Yeah, so I called up, I think it was Sean Salmon, and he's the old bass player for the Puddle of the Muds, and he's like, hey man, you want to come down and try out as a guitar player? So I got my half stack or whatever the hell I had at the time, and I went down to this building. And the Puddle of Mud thing is basically it's the river, the Missouri River. It was a nightmare. It was like it was flooding like out of control. Like we were on the levee right there. The building was like probably maybe 20 feet from the levee. We were on the second floor, so we just were like, wow, man, let's just call it, Puddle of Mud, because we're in a big puddle of mud, so that's how that happened.
Right on. Very cool. Do you have a project that you hold? I mean, I know we talked a lot about Come Clean because of the anniversary and everything. Do you have an album that you gravitate towards the most, that you feel like was the best work that you've done so far?
I mean, Come Clean's pretty darn good, man. I do love the other records though. Yeah, but Come Clean is, it's a very, very, very good record. I mean, the latest record, Welcome to Galvania, is actually a pretty darn good record. I mean, I like all the records. I like Life on Display. I mean, Away From Me was nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah,
and the record Famous was like, number one. Spaceship, number one. I mean, they're all really bitchin' ass records, man. And I can only hope to attain the same gratuity from the society that I can get. And I'm just gonna basically keep writing new records. But I mean, they're all really like my babies, They're like my little bitty baby kids, and I love them all. But Come Clean, it was huge. But in retrospect, like like, you know, all the other records didn't get the shot that Come Clean had because the interweb, you know, it was like, that's when record sales just completely basically dropped off the face of the earth. So a lot of the other records and stuff didn't get the same, you know, type of, you know, embrace, you know?
Yeah, I feel like the interweb is kind of like a double-edged sword in the sense, because, you know, thinking of Come Clean, there were few CDs at the time that you could just, when people listen to CDs, that you could just put in and spin completely through and not get tired of it. And it was kind of a CD world where you wanted that album that you could, you know, groove through the entire thing. And now it's such a singles based world. And the other side to that is, while people might find music of yours on the internet, it feels like the keyboard warrior criticism is just at a point nauseating, because you can't do anything without somebody somewhere, you know, trying to cut you down for it, which has got to be just as frustrating as all hell from an artist perspective, especially when, you know, the average keyboard warrior doesn't realize how much blood, sweat, tears, and time goes into crafting a song, let alone on the level that you guys are on to be able to do that. But just the first, it seems like the first instinct from everybody now is just, oh, I got to say something negative about it. I can't just let it be what it is without trying to attack it.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. The Come Clean slipped in there right before it all went cray-cray and sold millions of records and stuff like that. I believe that, you know, had some of the, you know, the latter records, like, you know, Life on Display and, you know, all the latter records from Puddle and Mud probably would have perhaps like done, you know, as well, you know, with, you know, without the, I guess you could say, thieves, you know, stealing music. I don't know. It's all worked out, I guess, at this point. But yeah, I mean, I think some of the other records would have done really darn good, you know?
Yeah, I think it's the one thing, and I've noticed in the last couple of years, and I think it's a good thing, especially for the rock format. It seems to have finally, or it's starting to get to a place where you do have some up and coming bands that have a different kind of sound, but you've also got bands like you guys that are more household name and been around a while that are becoming more accepted again. And it's good to hear from those guys. And it's good that there's the mix now of what came before and what's coming now. And it's kind of more blended. Whereas opposed to, there was a time there where at rock radio, you didn't know which band was which, because outside of a handful, everybody else was these bands you've never heard of before. And they stuck around for a few months and then they were gone. And there was never anybody with any kind of longevity. And now it seems like at least there's that point where you're getting that mix of the best of both worlds, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, it was like really rough for a second there. Because, you know, I don't know. Shoot, man. I just have fun writing. Who cares? Screw it, man. I'm just going to keep writing songs, and you totally hit the nail on the head. Totally, man.
Hey, well, you know what? I think good music stands the test of time, and that's obvious with what's going on with Come Clean. It's good to see, like, when you look back at the list of bands that kind of came out and were doing what you were doing at the same time, you know, the fact that you guys are still going and some of them aren't is also a testament, because like I said, when we started this, that's not an easy thing to do, especially in today's world. Like, it's, you know, in a world where it's what have you done for me lately, there's not enough necessarily of appreciating, you know, what came before sometimes.
Yeah, it's a wild, it was a wild world of freaking music. And yeah, I don't know. We'll hopefully get back to normal here real soon. Everybody pray, and, you know, God will answer our prayers, and we'll all be vaccinated very soon, and we'll get back to rocking and rolling, dog.
Absolutely. So being from Kansas City, are you a Chiefs fan?
Yeah. Go Chiefs, go, man. So yeah, it's like, it's insane. You know, it's crazy. All these other teams that haven't been winning very much or whatever lately, the Buffalo Bills, and oh God, who else? The Cleveland Browns, that we're playing them. I don't know when we're going to be playing those guys, but heck, man, that was just like freaking really cool. I was very happy and very pleased to see the Cleveland Browns and the Buffalo Bills and anybody else that has had some problems, in the last like decade or whatever. So I'm really I'm very happy for all those fans and stuff and all those players, and it's special, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. Chiefs are coming. The Chiefs are coming, man. Watch out.
Truth be told, being from Cincinnati, I've never been a Browns fan, and now living in Indianapolis, I'm on board with the Colts and whatnot.
Colts rock.
But I'll tell you what, I didn't like Baker Mayfield. I thought Baker was like, one of the biggest douches walking until I saw him on, ironically of all things, I guess Stone Cold Steve Austin does this like kind of reality-based talk show. I saw Baker Mayfield on that, and it changed my entire opinion of him. Like listening to him talk about how his family had no money and they moved back in with his parents and did everything they could so he could walk on the schools and play. And I'm like, okay, damn, this guy's not at all what I thought. And listen to his story. I'm like, dude, good on you. If you want to do the Bakers at Home commercials and make millions of dollars, I'm not going to hate that. I mean, I totally changed my entire perspective of him.
I totally thought that was going to backfire in his face, but he pulled it out, man. Most of the time when there's like, these football player, NFL people, they do these commercials, all of a sudden, man, they just kind of suck. And what? He's one of the only ones I've ever seen that actually got some wins out of the deal,
Yeah, it's kind of like the endorsement deals, the kiss of death, where it comes to your like football career. So, yeah. Absolutely. Well, dude, man, it has been a pleasure catching up with you. Best of luck. Hope to see you guys on the road sometime in the very near future. And seems like you're in a really good place, and that's good. So nothing but the best for you, man. And again, thank you for your time today. Totally appreciate it.
Appreciate you, baby. Thank you.
See ya.
Zaya.